of Lalande is calm and quiet on the surface, but actually I've been running around like crazy because Philip and I are leaving for Scotland today. The time has come for us to embark on our journey that has been delayed for 5 years. We are going on the Royal Scotsman, the most extraordinary train. We'll be travelling all around Scotland with Nick and Murray. Nick had originally booked this trip for me as a gift 5 years ago, and then it was going to be on the Orient Express, but it was cancelled 2 years in a row for COVID. We saw that as a sign, so we thought, well, maybe we should switch it to a Scottish train run by the same company. So we just switched the reservation across, but they didn't have any double bed cabins available that year, and both Philip and Nick said, no, that's not romantic enough. So we had to wait another year, and then last year the Royal Scotsman crashed into the Flying Scotsman just a week before we were due to go, and it was cancelled again. So fifth time lucky, are we going to get onto the train? Today we have to get to Edinburgh, and tomorrow morning we will be embarking, and I'm going to take you on every single day of the journey.
The Flying Scotsman, did I just show you see that?
I'm going on the Royal Scotsman. He crashed last year into the Flying Scotsman. Have you been on the Flying Scotsman?
Flying Scotsman, yeah.
That's the engine, isn't it? The steam engine.
4472.
Oh, you know the numbers and everything, Brian. Oh.
Well, I could say I was a train spotter when I was, yeah, but...
Well done. There's not many trains to spot round here,
No.
are there?
No. When I was a kid,
Yeah.
steam trains are around. So I think the Flying Scotsman has the record for getting from London to Edinburgh.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, something like that.
And so you actually travelled being pulled by it?
I've been on it a little way. All these weeds, so I'm just doing a quick... And then I'll go back to the borders.
Well, it's great because you're keeping up with it, which is wonderful. Oh, there it is. That's a very good spot for it. This is a tulip tree of Virginia. It comes from a chateau near here, the Chateau de Lalande, and the owners of the chateau, Chris and Sonia, gave me this baby tree from their trees, which came on the original shipment over from the US for Marie Antoinette, and they were all planted in Versailles. Versailles have lost all of their tulip trees in the meantime, and the ones at the Chateau de Lalande have been designated special trees of France, and Chris actually went with one of the babies to Versailles to replant one of the descendants of that original shipment back in Versailles. And now we have one at Lalande. Isn't that marvellous?
Oh.
Yes, I think Ruby's excited.
History, don't you? I mean, no. To have a tree imported from Virginia for Marie Antoinette, I wouldn't have.
It's amazing, isn't it? You planted that.
I know. I'll put a little plaque there.
Yeah, planted by Brian.
Brian, yeah.
Wales was here. I can't wait to see that grow.
It's gorgeous. They face up like that and they look like a tulip.
It'll be wonderful because this whole area will be an arboretum. Doesn't look like it now, but trust me, have vision for the future. An arboretum, and then a clearing, and then the whole pool area over there.
Yes, so can I put my name down for pool attendant now?
Yes, you can. We've been needing one, so I'm glad you've come forward.
There's a 5-year waiting list, so I better get my name down quick.
Right, well, we'll leave you. I better go and pack. I've got a lot to do, actually.
Yeah, you have to get your kilt ready.
I haven't even got a kilt I'm taking. Even Philip, we're going kiltless. It seems wrong.
Well,
hope they let us in.
It's very windy up there, mind.
The time has come to pack. Oh my goodness, both peacocks have decided to, try and outdo each other. I don't think that either of those is Thor. I think it's the two younger ones. Well, you look spectacular, and unlike your father, you're actually showing me the front. My goodness. I mean, to be fair, the women don't seem very interested, but it's not the season for it, so I presume this is just a practice session. So I got really distracted with that because, in fact, I'm on my way with the architect Philip and a master stonemason to go under the terrace to look at the fireplace that I showed you earlier, which is the fireplace that we found under the terrace. It was obviously taken out of the chateau many years ago, probably over 100 years ago, and we think it dates from the 18th century, and we would like to put it back, probably into chambre perse, because it's quite beautiful. But this stonemason, who's worked on the finest monuments in Paris, I feel it's overkill looking at this little tiny fireplace. Nevertheless, he's worked in Notre Dame, at l'Élysée, at chateaus all over the country, and now he is at Lalande. He came with the architect to look at the fireplace.
Alors vous pensez que c'est une pierre locale?
Ah oui, complètement, oui. C'est à côté de la châtre. Les carrières, non. Moi, j'ai quelques pierres, j'en ai encore, quelques-unes. Cette pièce qui était cassée, c'est juste là.
Ouais, mais ça se recolle, c'est pas un problème. Ouais, ça peut se restaurer.
C'est vous pour l'âge de la cheminée.
C'est une cheminée, c'est 18e, ça. C'est beau, hein.
Je me demande de quelle profondeur ça continue.
Oui, c'est pour ça que je disais. Vous voyez,
Oui, ça continue.
là, on voit la moulure. Alors, alors là, il y a deux solutions. Soit la terre a bien conservé la pierre, il peut être, soit elle a complètement rongé. Et vous voyez, les mousses et les lichens, ils ont commencé à manger la pierre. Et quand je vois ça, les caves comme ça, humides comme ça, avec toute la mousse qu'il y a, ça a dû sûrement la ronger comme ça fait là, quoi. Ah ben, vous voyez cette moulure-là? Donc elle court, et c'est celle-ci. Elle revient ici.
Oui.
Voilà. Elle vient se reposer ici, c'est la même. Alors, il faut vraiment qu'on déterre, qu'on prenne du temps pour le...
Oh, c'est l'archéologie carrément ici.
Ah oui, là, oui. Et si vous voulez, moi, on peut venir et puis vous la sortir, la laisser sécher tranquillement.
Oui.
D'accord, merci. Well, that went really well. The stonemason's going to come back in the next week or so. He's going to collect the mantelpiece that we've got. It'll be quite interesting trying to dig out the long cross piece because it'll be interesting to see what moulding there is on it and what state it's in. The whole thing's in a very bad state. He does think it can be saved though, so he's going to take it to his atelier. He's going to leave it for at least a month and then he'll be able to take better stock of its current state and exactly what's needed to restore it. Philip's showing the old plans of this chateau to the stonemason and to the architect because we're trying to work out the date of the terrace. We think that the terrace was built before the current structure above it because the stairs don't line up to anything. But he's actually saying that it's very clearly built against the original wall of the chateau because actually when you're inside the grotto you can see that it's basically a lean-to the terrace. So the wall that we're looking at now was certainly the original wall of the chateau. You can tell because none of the stones actually go into it. If it had been built at the same time, it would have been staggered with the stones going into that wall. But they're not. They're just placed against it. If we could date the wall that we're looking at now, we would probably find the date of the original chateau. And I think that above the terrace, the architecture has changed a lot over the centuries. But that wall must certainly be over 500 years old, maybe much, much more. And he's also said that the top stones here, which as you can see have a little moulding sculpted into them, they would not have originally been made for a terrace. He says that they would have used much wider stones, the job would have gone faster, it would have been easier. To use all these tiny little stones like that means that they were using stones they already had. So it was added later when they probably demolished a part of the chateau that they didn't need anymore, and they used stones that they recuperated from the demolished area of the chateau. So lots of little elements are being added to Philip's continual search for the history of Lalande today. I love it when we piece together new little bits of information like this because each piece of information seems so tiny that it doesn't seem to illuminate the past very much. But as you start to add them all together, and especially when you've got Philip on your side, you start to see a whole picture emerging. It's like doing a historical jigsaw puzzle.
Là, on a juste un rond.
Ouais, un rond ici, oui.
Là, on a quelque chose.
Oui.
Oh non, c'est 1703.
On dirait, c'est possible.
Oui, il y a un zéro au milieu.
Il y a un zéro. Là, on dirait un 3. Puis là,
Ça, c'est
1703.
17 après, il y a 7 là.
Il y aurait un-
Oui,
Oui.
il y a 7 après.
sûrement la date.
you're right.
C'est le 7 comme ça, le 7 comme ça là.
I always thought that it was a little sort of table, sort of like shaped like
Yes.
an upside down U. And I
But
couldn't
now we're
figure-
thinking it's
But
1703.
it definitely is 1703.
Wow, we have just had the most exciting time. They're on their way to look at the window of Perse.
I am so excited.
I know, it's so exciting, so many discoveries. Philip is beside himself because the stonemason has agreed with Philip's original thought that this stone that's just been lying on the terrace for as long as I've been here is indeed the holy water font of the original chapel. He says it's 100% a holy water font. And he noticed some markings on it, which we'd seen, but we couldn't make out what they were. And just suddenly, in a moment of inspiration, as he turned it over and noticed that this was a 3, I don't know how he saw it very well, Philip suddenly realised it's the date. It's 1703. There's a 1 here, then you can just make out a 7. There's a 0 here, and a 3 here. So it will be much easier to see when it's all being cleaned. The stonemason's going to take it back to his studio. He's going to remove all of the lichen, and then we can have a much better look. But at the moment, all of us are in agreement that it's almost certainly the date 1703 from the original chapel, and it's the holy water font. So this is a very, very exciting discovery. It would have been placed into the wall up to here, so this part would have been invisible, and then this part would have been coming into the room, and the basin there would have had all of the holy water. So just by the door to the chapel, it's just filled with earth at the moment. So it'll be very interesting to see the full shape of it when it's completely cleaned up. Oh, I'm very excited, and so is somebody else. Oh, was someone a bit tired of standing on the actual ground? Is that what happened, darling? I think he's loving the discoveries too, aren't you, darling? It's hard to photograph in this position, but can you see this is the interior that would have had the water? It's just full of earth at the moment, so I don't even know how deep it goes. There, I think that's about it. And it's sculpted into little points around here. Very, very hard to tell whilst it's in this state. Can't wait to see it all cleaned up. I must say the stonemason and the architect were very excited about it. Our friend John has arrived, and we haven't seen him for absolutely ages, so he's come over to have a look at the chapel. He last saw it months ago.
This painting just is fabulous.
It's transformed.
It would have been so easy to take big brushes, but
Help with the rolling brushes.
exactly, we do that in the week. I've never seen those two pieces, and Philip said that one had lost all of its paint.
Yes, had no paint left.
And then this one was used as the model for the other.
Well, it's a day for getting excited about holy water fonts. And it's fascinating the difference between the rustic one that we've seen on the terrace and these highly painted neo-Gothic ones. You can really see the difference in style that 150 years made.
It's just gorgeously done. Really, really beautifully done.
I love starred ceilings in chapels. It is spectacular. It pulls you to the heavens, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yes. It's just a marvelous work of art.
It is. I feel very honoured to be in here and to have this on the property. I still can't get my head around it. It's such a jewel. I am really choked up leaving you all. I really hate it. Come back soon, please, Pavlina. Look after the tiny one.
I will.
And you look after Auntie Treat, won't you, darling? Thanks for the greatest season. I mean, it's been the best yet, and you've both been incredible. All right, I'm going to go before I start crying. See you next week. I don't know why I'm being so dramatic, but I don't know why I'm so sad. I've been looking forward to this for 5 years.
I think you like leaving Galahad.
I know, and I think just it being the end of the season as well, and everything together, to feel very emotional. I've got to concentrate on the fact that we're going to see Nick and Marie and have a wonderful time. We've made it to the plane. It was a bit touch and go there. They were calling our names, put it that way. But we are here. And this is the first of 2 flights today. We're flying to London Stansted, immediately checking back in again. And then we'll have a 4 or 5 hour wait in Stansted because our next flight is not until 10:30 tonight to Edinburgh. We've arrived in London in the drizzle. And what's the betting, Philip? Do you reckon this is going to be the weather every single day of the entire trip? I think it sets a lovely murky theme. He's not even joking. We both kind of like a little bit of grey drizzle. It's great when it's not too cold, but just cold enough to snuggle up under a cashmere blanket with a cup of tea and a little bit of shortbread. Well, we had a nice meal at the airport. We had a few hours to wait, which was really peaceful, and I'm starting to get into holiday mode. Edinburgh, here we come. Isn't it beautiful? It feels like stepping into heaven after an incredibly long day. There seems something quite fairy tale about arriving just after the stroke of midnight, doesn't there? It's getting very autumnal for you, darling. You're getting those oranges you're hoping for in Scotland. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. This place is exquisite. Can we have trees in the Grand Salon? Do you know, I was so busy looking at the trees, I hadn't even seen the Murano chandelier. Okay, we need to go to bed. This is beautiful. And they emailed and said that as we're arriving so late, they'd make sure that the bed was already turned down for us when we got here. Look at the curtain fabric. Oh, that is gorgeous. I think I'm going to sleep very, very well tonight. I was drawn to the curtains, but Philip was stopped in his track by the cushions. See all the raised embroidery on that? They are really pretty, Philip. But do you think this is the most exciting thing in the room? Chocolate whiskey fudge.